Hey guys, this is Stephanie with more lice advice. Today I'm going to show you how to do a head check on your child. If you're worried about them having lice, or if you should just really be doing this preventatively all throughout the school year to make sure that they are clear and you don't need to, either treat them or get them professional services. The first thing I want to point out is that if you're the mom or the dad or the babysitter or the teacher and you're doing a head check on someone, you should always have your hair pulled back. The most common and easiest way to contract head lice is by hair-to-hair contact. So if I'm getting too close to her and my hair's down, that's enough contact for lice to transfer from her head to my head. Usually when people come into their clinic and a child has head lice, the mom almost always also has head lice. So this is Jenna, my daughter. Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Okay. So first, what you want to do is make sure there are no tangles in the hair, because it would be a lot easier with no knots, and then your child will complain less. So I'm just going to quickly detangle her, and then I'm going to make sure I can pull a rat tail comb also through her hair, so it's just a finer implement to make sure there's no smaller knots that I need to get out as well. And then I'm going to start with a visual head check. You should have a paper towel handy and a spray bottle of water. I'm going to wet her head down a little bit, but first I'm going to conduct the visual check, because what I'm looking for are either nits or bugs. And if I see something right away, I don't need to proceed into nit combing, because I know now I need to treat. What am I looking for? I'm either looking for the presence of actual bugs or lice eggs. And we have other videos on our channel that will show you more in detail what lice eggs look like, because hopefully I'm not actually going to find any in her head, but you never know. So I would split the hair and part it right in the center. And, if she has a lot of bugs, I'd see some activity going on here. But in this case, she doesn't. So I'm kind of just going to go around her head, parting in about 2-inch sections. I'm looking for anything that's out of the ordinary. Everyone has certain stuff and gunk in their hair. But if she has something that I'm concerned about, like this guy right here, I'm just going to try and tap it or fleck it, flip it away with my comb. If it flips away easily, it's either dandruff or dry scalp or glitter or sand or all sorts of things that are in people's hair. You would be amazed. So I'm just going to keep going around. I'm going to spend a little extra time looking at the hot spots. Hot spots are areas where lice love to lay their eggs because they're the warmest spots of your head. And those hot spots are behind the ears, the nape of the neck. And I'm just looking for little eggs and or anything that might be running around. I don't see anything back there. So I would just continue this process of breaking the hair down and checking both down here and also on the underside. Lice are going to lay their eggs within 1/4 of an inch of the scalp. This is the warmest spot on your head. So you're going to really be incubating these eggs. Lice eggs cannot hatch at room temperature. So this is why the lice have to lay them so close to your scalp. So I'm just using the edge of my rat tail comb. I'm parting in 1 to 2 inch sections. You need to have good light. So if you can, you should set yourself up outside in natural light, and that would help you. So I don't see anything in my visual. I'm not going to spend too much time doing this. If you don't see any eggs or any lice, what you need to also do is a good nit combing. There is no substitution for the actual combing process. So when I get to combing, I actually want to wet her hair down a little bit. The gold standard for nit combing is combing wet, not dry. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water in her hair. If your kid's hair is very long and knotted, you can try some water and conditioner mixture. And it's a really good idea to occupy your child. This is the time to let them use their device. Let them watch the show. Getting her hair a little bit wet, I'm going to start nit combing. You want to use a good nit comb, something that is metal, not plastic. It should have tines that are really nice and close together, and you should be able to see through those so that you can see if there is or is not anything in the comb. And then I'm going to use my paper towel to wipe my knit comb on so that I can see any evidence and actually, you know, look at it under maybe a magnifying glass or something so I can see really what's coming out of her hair. I would start right here in the front of her head. When I come in with the knit comb, and I'm going to come in at the angle of her hair, but I really need to scrape her scalp, and she should definitely feel me on her head. I'm going to overlap my knit comb and keep going around her head. This is just called a perimeter sweep, and I'm going to do this all the way until I get to the halfway point, which is right about here. I'm looking at my comb, but I don't need to wipe my comb unless I see a bug or something that's concerning. If I see a bug right away, I want to stop and not reinsert that comb into her hair because I can reinsert the bug into her hair. If I pull out a knit, it's not such a big deal. The knit cannot reattach. It has no mechanism for reattaching. The lice actually secrete a glue when they're laying those eggs, and they glue the eggs onto your hair shaft. That's why they're so firmly rooted into your hair. Okay, so I've done the whole perimeter sweep. Also want to make sure I thoroughly comb through the end of her ponytail. I'm going to wipe my knit comb, and if there was anything on here that was black and round and it looked like a little tadpole with an egg, I would be concerned. If there's any little bugs on here, I would definitely be concerned. And again, there's links to other video tutorials that will show you more about what eggs actually look like when you're pulling them off. So if I didn't find anything on that perimeter sweep, I would just now go around her head in subsectioning and making 2 inches, 2-inch parts. And I want to comb down, I want to comb backward, I want to comb up, and I want to comb forward. The knit can be on any side of the hair shaft, so it's important not to just comb one way because you will not be successful in uncovering knits if you're just combing one way. And I would keep doing this around the entire top section of her head. Again, I'm looking at my comb, but unless I see something stuck in there, I'm not going to stop because it'll take a really long time to get through this. Make sure you come all the way out. If there's a knot, work on that knot. Maybe go back to your rat tail comb to remove the knot, because I can pull eggs all the way down and not pull them fully out if I have knots in the hair. And I don't really want to do that because I want to see what I'm dealing with, if she actually has lice or not. So I'm just going to continue parting and combing. I would do this all the way around the hair line. And I would go both over toward this one ear and comb. And then I would pull it back. And then I'm abridging this, obviously, so you can see an entire head check. But I might be a little more thorough in the sections. Okay. Once I'm done with the whole front of her head, if I don't find anything, I'm going to start checking the back of her head. So first, I kind of want to just make sure she doesn't have any knots again because I've put a few in there. And when she's not free, we're hoping she's also going to be knit free. My jokes are good.
Pretty funny.
Okay, so now I'm just going to do the same thing, breaking down into these little sections. My parts aren't perfect, but they're good enough so that I have a straight line and I can get the comb in starting at the hairline. I need to start this comb at the scalp, not down here, because if I start even a 1/2 inch into the hairline, I'm kind of missing any new knits that were laid. Again, knits are going to be laid within 1/4 inch of the hair, and I'm looking for a new infestation. I'm looking for something that's going on right now, not if, we had lice 3 months ago and we still have a few empty shells. Those would be further down the hair shaft, but I'm looking for something that might be new. So I want to comb in a few different directions. And I would complete this process of combing the back all the way until I get back up to the crown, which I know I've already done several times when we went around the head. Okay, and if I still find nothing, I would also have her do one final step, which is, heaven forbid, put your phone down. and your goldfish, and put your hands on the handrail, flip your head forward. And what I want to do here is comb the backside of her hair, because sometimes it can be really hard to get this section without poking her in the head or in the neck. And this is a great way to comb out all those hot spots at one time. So I'm hitting behind the ears, the nape of the neck, and the crown of the head, all from the underside, which is a much better angle than I had before. Flip your head back. There you go. Again, I will wipe my comb. And for the most part, I'm just finding hair.
You know, when you lose hair, it is more of a stress response, because we don't need our hair anymore to keep us warm. So when you have a stress on your body, everyone's body deals with stress differently. Yours decides it doesn't want to make hair anymore, and it's just in patches. And so that's why you lose hair in that area. What we do with the steroid is essentially decrease inflammation in that area, so that when your body is ready to produce hair, this is not a permanent damage, but when your body is ready to produce hair again, then it will in this area. We're trying to decrease inflammation so that, Kate, will you hold this back for me? So that the hair can come through the scalp and regrow. And of course, the more you stress about it, the worse it is.
Right.
And then, you know, biotin, which is over the counter, which is a vitamin that helps stimulate or gives your body all the necessary nutrients to grow. Oh, another needle, please. Just do that. Here. But so biotin will help give your body all the necessary nutrients to grow the hair. So and the steroid injections just kind of help.
Right.
And she gets these little bald patches through here and here.
Did you want to get
doing chemical treatments to your hair does not help with the new growing hair.
Well, I wasn't breaking when I haven't seen you in this.
I know you've done good.
Okay.
And you just really have small patches here and there. But this is a young lady that will come in with all sorts of different colored hair.
I know. So, like, no bleach.
Well, I mean, with everything in moderation.
Right.
With all these new baby hairs, the more damage you do to them. The worse it can be. Did you notice any on the other side?
I think there's two.
On that side too?
Yeah. How many do you see? Just one?
I just had that one on that side.
Okay.
On the other side.
How are your two sons?
They're doing good. You know what's so funny is my 5-year-old. We just don't do it
already.
He just turned 5 in June, and he did. We watched that Bieber contest or that documentary online.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's ever seen Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
And he said, "Mama, I want to be him." And I said, "What about you be you, but very talented?"
Yeah. Yeah. That's so sweet.
So we don't have any talent in our family, unfortunately, son. So I doubt you'll be singing.
How's the little one?
Brennan, he's good. He's going to be 3 in August.
Oh my God, 3.
I
I
know.
remember you
Time
were
is
pregnant.
flying. I
Good
know.
Lord.
Time is flying.
Is it just 2?
I just saw the one right through here. I mean, where they pull your braids is of course going to look thinner.
Yeah.
Most of these are all full. You got a tiny patch right here. Most of these are full of hair. It's just little hair.
Right.
You can see where she's getting new growth through the hair, or the patch. You don't have any real ball patches. Not like you used to have.
Right.
You're just more aware now, so any little area that feels a little bit more, or a little less full, then you worry about it. Are you still taking it, Byington?
Yes, I actually ran out, so I haven't been on it for a few days. I need to go to Walmart and get some more. That 5,000 milligram. I'm still on iron pills. I'm off my anxiety medicine. I've been off that for a while.
We're going to go through and do a hair health check today. So we're looking at the actual hair to make sure that it's growing properly. And we've also been describing some scalp problems, that we have some scalp scale and scalp oil. So we're going to go in and use a microscope at scalp level, and we'll see exactly what's going on. So let's have a look. I always start in the terminal area first, because this is where the hair is not affected by hormonal or hereditary. So if I have a hair cycle problem, I will find out by going in here. So let's see what we can see. Alright, so I can see straight away there on my computer screen that in this frame, it's very magnified, I can see Taylor's normal hairs. So these are your normal terminal hairs here, Taylor, and that's how far your hairs are normally spaced out apart. Can you see all these little hairs? They're nearly see-through.
Yeah.
They're what we call diffuse damaged hairs, and there's quite a few of them there. You see them hiding in amongst there? So per frame, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5, 6, maybe 7 hairs per area, and that's less than 1 centimetre square. So in a tiny area, it's showing that some of your hairs aren't growing properly. So that explains some of the problems that we're having. So we're just going to go in and see, again in the terminal area, if everywhere we go, do we see something that is similar. Alright, can you see them there again, Taylor?
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to do here, because some of them, you can barely even see it. Now that could start looking like an empty follicle. So we're going to change the image, and we're going to look a little bit beneath the scalp. So I'm going to change it over to our dermal image. Can you see that? That those little ones that weren't even showing up before, we can now see them again. So if we look at the 6 hairs that we saw per frame before, and we add in these little silvery ones, there's at least another 4 of them. So now our hair count. Okay, we're going to go in and have a look again. Now what we're going to do is, I'm looking through the microscope what I'm seeing, and I'm actually going to click a button, and that holds that image that we were seeing there. So then I can come over and I can point this out to Taylor, the hairs that aren't growing. Can you see that? So that is how your hair should be growing. See how they've actually got a lot of colour?
Yeah.
You've got all these little ones that they're translucent. So they're still there, they're still growing. They're not new hairs, because a new hair comes through as thick as it should.
Yeah.
But they're, you know, damaged hair. So at some point, your hair cycle's been disrupted, and they're just not growing properly. So that shows the hair that you had, that you were telling me about, that long blonde hair that was really thick and full. I can see that that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
So what we need to visualise is all of those little hairs that aren't growing properly. If we could get them back into their hair cycle, they could grow like the big strong ones there with colour. There's your hair back. Yeah, so it's very common. So we're just going to keep checking. We want to make sure we don't have any empty follicles, and all we have is this disrupted hair cycle. So we'll move over to the other side. So I'm going to clear the image on the screen, and we'll go in and we'll look live over here. And again, can you see them there, Taylor? Now I'm not going to hold it, I'm going to keep moving along. Right, now I'm going to change my lens again to look beneath, or look at them all. See them?
Yeah.
Okay, now can you see that bit of yellowness there on the scalp? That's showing a bit of oil as well. So I'm going to change my lens again. Can you see up here, we've frozen the frame on the screen, we've actually got some oil and some scale starting to form on the scalp as well. So that, you know, scalp problem that you're explaining, I can see that it is actually there. Okay, we'll clear the screen, come back through. And now I'm seeing some redness on the screen, which is showing that your hair follicle is inflamed a bit, which basically is a scalp pimple. Alright, let's pop that down and we'll move to another area. I like to move away from the terminal area and start coming up a bit higher. See if we're seeing the same. So we'll clear the screen, go back in again. Right. Can you see all the same hairs there? Yes. And as we're going through. So it's showing me that this is what we would call, I'm just going to freeze that there. This is what we would call a diffuse hair problem, because it's not just in here, it's starting to move forward. We'll go and check in the sides. So what we mean by diffuse is it's everywhere. It's not a patchy type, or what we call a localized area. See up here? See, it looks exactly the same there. However, can you see the scalp scale? Yes. Through there. When was the last time you washed your scalp, Taylor?
Maybe 2 days.
2 days?
2-3 days.
Yeah. So it's not bad. It's not unnatural.
Yeah.
But definitely we can see that the scalp needs cleaning. Do you do brush therapy? Yes. So maybe we know we can't go more than 2 days without washing, and we might just need to address a product to put on the scalp to stop the scalp from coming back. Okay, now as we move into the sides, the hair distribution is further apart and the hairs get finer. That's just the way the hair is on the scalp and around the skull. And that's all looking normal there. I'm just going to move out the top here because this is our hereditary and hormonal area. I'll do a quick check to see if anything's happening up here. I can start seeing a few empty follicles around that area. See them with me? Little marcations on the scalp.
Yes.
So they're actually holes where the hair should be coming out. So that says that we've got a little bit of hereditary or hormonal type of hair loss. And you shared your history with me before, so I'm not surprised at seeing this because of the synthetic hormonal interventions that have happened over the years for yourself. So we just need to address those things. And then you can start seeing the diffuse damaged hairs through here as well. Check just on this hairline also. So this is why most people report that they have more hair thinning at the front, because your hair is naturally finer there, and you can have two things at the same time, which is your diffuse hair damage and also the female pattern thinning. Can you see them all there with me? Yeah. So it's not a lot, it's not a problem, it's something that we can easily correct for you. The other thing I'm noticing through here is there's more oil. So when you get less hair and you've got these follicles that don't have hair in them, the oil gland is still alive, it's still active. So they're producing oil which is coming out onto your scalp, and the other ones it's actually irritating your scalp. So this is why you say to me that there's more oil at the front. I can see why. So we can help you to clean all of that up. So that's just a really basic hair health check. I'm just now going to spend a bit of time with Taylor to explain to her how we can correct this easily, and we're going to teach her a bit of home care. So if you have a hair or scalp problem, hair health check is a very quick and easy way to identify, so you have confidence that you can correct it.
And so you'll inspect and palpate the scalp. We're going to section off. I'm going to remove your ponytail if you don't mind. We're going to section off little sections here, and we're just looking at the scalp. What I'm looking for is any intact skin. We hope everything's intact. If we have any lesions or anything like that, we're also looking for nits, for lice. I hope you don't have any lice today that I find. We're also going to be looking for the texture of the skin itself. She's got a really great texture. It's well cleaned, it's moist, it's not dry, so that shows us that she's well hydrated. So we'll look all over in every section. Okay, and then I'm not going to put your hair back up for you.
I'm going to begin through your scalp because, as you know, you can even get skin cancers in your scalp.
Sure.
So I'll just have you turn your head this way. So a full body skin exam is really important and recommended for individuals with a personal or a family history of skin cancer, or people with fair skin or a lot of moles. Great, nothing suspicious hiding there.
I like to tell everybody that looking through the scalp should be a normal part of your yearly skin exam. Usually we'll start in the center and then just part the hair and look through your scalp during your yearly scalp exam. We might take it a little step further when we're looking for alopecia. So first what I do is evaluate the patient from the front, and we see, is the hairline the way it's supposed to be? Nicole has beautiful hair, so this is just an example. Okay, so her hairline is normal, and then I say, what does the part look like? She has a normal part here, and it's not widened. When you have some hair thinning or hair loss, this part will be a little wider. You'll start to see more scalp than you normally would, and we'll make sure it's even from side to side. So I just go through her scalp, looking at the parts. I look at this part, area of the scalp, the temporal area, to make sure it's not too thin. Most people have a little bit thinner hair here. It gets a lot of styling stress. Okay, what we might do is run our hands through the hair and see if she's got any extra hairs coming out, and she really doesn't. If people have shedding hair, you may get about 10 hairs or so when you do a hair pull test. And then we may take a couple individual hairs and tug on them to make sure that the hair's strong. The other thing we'll do is look at the back of the scalp to make sure that the part in the back is about the same as the front. Most people are a little bit thinner on the top than they are in the back. And of course, we look at the actual scalp itself. Do the hair follicles look normal? Is there any flaking or bumps in the scalp? And are there any patches of missing hair?
Remedies. Okay, feel your hair. It's soft and well groomed. I'm going to go ahead and feel your scalp for any abnormalities. Tell me if you feel any tenderness. Everything feel okay? Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to go ahead and feel your sinuses as well. Tell me if you feel any tenderness. How's that feel?
Feel good.
All right, good. I'm going to place my hands here. I want you to open and close your mouth for me. Any pain? All right, no clicking, so no TMJ. That's what we're looking for.
I'm gonna check your hair. Hair looks good. You're well groomed. It's all distributed evenly. Great. Okay. So I'm gonna start with your scalp. So if I have you just kind of look down, thank you. We're gonna look through your scalp. And Juliana did the right thing because she came in today without any makeup, any jewelry, any hair products, because that allows us to get a better, thorough exam. Okay. Good. I'm going to check behind your ears. Now, I have diagnosed skin cancer on pretty much every body part, including behind the ears, the fingernails, lips, genital skin. Close your eyes for me. And that's why we look everywhere. Turn your head this way. Turn your head this way. You can open up your eyes, open your mouth for me, and then close. Now, Juliana is wearing a bathing suit underneath this, just for purposes of the exam. But like I said, when you come in, we will...
I'm gonna look at your hair. It's well distributed throughout and very healthy. Perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna palpate your sinuses, okay? I'm gonna palpate your frontal sinus. Any pain, tenderness?
No.
I'm going to palpate your maxillary sinus. Any pain, tenderness?
No.
Perfect. Now I'm going to palpate your temporal mandibular joint. So I want you to open up your jaw, close it. Now open it up and move it side to side. Perfect. Good job. I assessed that muscle right here for symmetry, swelling, and I didn't feel any.
I noticed that her hair is evenly distributed, and as I'm palpating, I don't notice any abnormalities like lumps or bumps, no lesions or anything like that.
I'm just looking for any masses, bumps, lesions. Have you had any painful areas on your scalp? Okay, I don't see any parasites or anything. Hair is distributed evenly.
I don't see anything. Your hair distribution is even. Any pain or tenderness while I did that?
No.
Okay, gonna check your ears. Any pain or tenderness here?
No.
Awesome.
So I'm just gonna look. I see that her skin is pink and intact. She doesn't have any lesions. There's no dryness noted. Her hair is evenly distributed, so I don't see any issues there.
I'm going to feel your scalp here. I'm just palpating for any abnormal bumps, deformities, things like that. No tenderness?
No.
Okay.
Hey, how are you doing? Good? Okay, I'm Melissa. I heard that one of your friends had gotten lice. So your parents called me. I make home visits to come in and I do scalp inspections. And then if there is anything, then I help with that. So to start though, all we're gonna do is just look over your head and I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing there, okay? If by chance there is something, then we can go from there, okay? But I'm just gonna use a few different tools, just look through your entire head. I'll also be using a little flashlight. Do you have any questions? Okay, are you comfortable with all of that? Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna spray your hair first and just gonna comb it out some. Just make it easier. Okay, not what I was expecting. Okay, enough of that. Just gonna come in here, okay? You're very pretty hair, just nice and long. And parents said you had never had lice before, that's correct? Okay. Have Have you been notice anything itching or anything in the past few days? You have? Okay. Well, sometimes that can just be dandruff too, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So we've done that. What I'm going to do is just take the light and just do a brief look over your whole head, just see if anything pops out, okay? Let's see. Okay. Are you okay? Comfortable? Alright. See, your hair's a little, you've got some blue streak over here. I like that. Okay. Let me turn your head a little bit. Oops, sorry. Okay. Let's see. Can you tilt your head forward for me, please? All right. Tilt it all the way forward. If you just sit up and sit still for me, please. Okay. Okay. And just put your head back up now. Just comb this out. So I didn't see anything to start with, but I am going to take a more detailed look. So like I said, we just want to be 100% sure. Oh, I do need you to sign something before. Okay. spot. So just gonna put some of your hair up, make it a little easier to work with because you do have very thick hair. And then it's going to look a little funny, but I wish my hair was as thick as yours. Sort of thin hair. It's very fine. Okay, is that okay? Alright, now sit up for me. And then just gonna tilt your head like that, okay? And then I'm just gonna use this and just kind of start looking through, okay? And if at any time you're uncomfortable, just let me know, okay? Okay, you're gonna have to keep your head to the side there, please, or your hair is gonna fall back. Yep, there you go, my string. Just right here. And then I'm gonna look right around your ear here. Okay, you can come up for a minute so we can. Let's go ahead and take a look at this side, okay? Stand over here. Do you mind holding this for a minute? If you want, you kind of turn your body a little bit that way as well. Here we go. And put your head up. You enjoying your, I guess it's not quite summer, but summer break so far? Yeah. I'm going to straighten your back a little bit because I can't let's go ahead if you want to stretch real quick, because you're gonna go all the way down so I can see back your hair. Okay. You good? If you just sit up, you won't have to. Here, sit up. Sit up, just put your head up. Alright, so I'll just, can you just tilt it just a little bit? Just, there you go. Still nothing, so that's a very good sign. I'm pretty confident you don't have anything right now, but I'm going to just do some more checking, just to be positive. Have you ever thought of dyeing all your hair blue? Yeah? That would be exciting. I would like to do mine purple. I think that would be pretty cool. Any other colors you've thought about? No, just blue. So I guess that's your favorite color. I like blue a lot too. Like blue, green, purple. I'm not a big fan of red or yellow. I mean, it can be okay, but, yeah. Here, stay still, okay. Makes it easier for me to concentrate, okay? Let's just sit as still as possible. Oh, here we go. All right. I just get a little crazy. This Mary's back here I haven't really looked at yet, so just gonna part it. Get some of this out of the way. Okay, do you mind just kind of holding this hair up here? All right, and then sit back up. All right. Okay. Can you bend your head forward a little more? So keep your back straight, and then just tilt your head forward. So as far as sit back up again. Okay. Alright, you put your head back a little bit. I just want to look around along your hairline here. And kind of use the little brush. Just that. Okay. Just going to take a look at first. Okay. Just tilt back a little. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to comb your hair back out. Just see if anything really won't come out in the comb, but well, use this one so. But just as like a final precaution. Okay? And then we'll be all finished. So just hang in there just a couple more minutes, okay? It's better than the little mice combs. They don't pull as much.
I'm gonna feel now. So let me know if you have any pain or tenderness. Any pain or tenderness?
No.
Okay, and I'm gonna look at your scalp. So I'm looking here behind your ears, at the back, on the other side, all looks good.
And I like to use the comb that has the pointy end like this. And so you just section out the hair, and a lot of the hot spots would be the back of the neck and behind the ears. So that's a good place to start. And like they said in the video, the nits are not going to be at the end of their hair, so they're going to be near the scalp. They won't be on the scalp, but they'll be near the scalp. So just taking very small sections of hair and looking carefully and just moving through the hair very systematically. When we had a lice issue last year, she only had like 4 nits because we check a lot. It's so much easier to deal with if you check frequently, because then you don't have as big of a problem. Because the shampoos aren't very good at killing the eggs, you have to pick out all the nits anyway. And so if you have very few nits, then you have a lot less of a problem. So I just go through looking very carefully. Can you turn your head this way? And even if your child, a lot of kids have really thick, long hair. You don't really have to worry about the length part, just the part that's near the scalp.
And they tend to be very camouflaged, like they blend in with the color of your child's hair oftentimes. But the most noticeable thing when you find one is that it won't come off, and it's on the side of the hair shaft rather than on, the top. And that one shot that they showed where it's just like a teardrop kind of little shape.
The actual lice, do you see it moving or no?
It's really hard to find. I've only seen that once where I've seen the actual louse running around. It's much easier to find.
So she has some little tiny particles in her hair, but I can scrape them away, and they're also really too small to be nits. But if I couldn't, if your child ever has nits, you really have to pinch and pull them off. So like Kim was saying, if you can get it off without really just pulling it completely off, like there's something there. This could be a real demonstration there. No, see, it comes off. You would have to really work to get them off.
And even that, if it does come off, then it's probably a dead one. But the live ones don't. Or the live, it's not born yet, but
the actual thing that's gonna be born.
So we just go systematically through her whole hair, and we do it, once a week, and it takes, not even 5 minutes to do it. Some people like to do it when their children, like when they first get out of the bath, because it's really easy to move the hair over in small sections. But just keeping the small sections.
Is it Sunday?
Okay, then we're going to do a visual check. I'm going to part the hair down the middle, and I'm really just going to look with my eyes. I can use my headlamp that's lighted and magnification on it. And really I'm just looking for anything out of the ordinary. I'm looking for any bugs, I'm looking for any nits. I'm going to take 1-inch sections, part the hair, and look with my eye. Anything that I see, I'm going to flick with my comb, and if it comes off, it's not a nit. A nit will be glued to the hair. They're usually going to be very close to the scalp, and the hot spots for nits are the crown of the head, behind the ears, and the nape of the neck. So we're going to pay extra close attention. So I'm doing my visual check. This is not going to take more than a few minutes, but half of the time I'm going to see evidence without having to go any further. As soon as I see any evidence, either a nit, a nymph, or a louse, my head check is over, and then I move on to the next head check. I'm going to pay extra close attention to behind the ear and the nape of the neck, and if I don't see anything, I'm just going to keep parting through the hair and looking. And again, I'm looking for any deviations in pattern. People have all sorts of things in their hair. They have dandruff, dry scalp. Sometimes they have psoriasis or other skin conditions. They have glitter and dirt and lint. But all that stuff is going to fleck off if I touch it with my comb. A nit is going to stay glued to the hair shaft. And a bug is going to run. Okay, so I'm almost done with my visual here. And again, as soon as I find any evidence, my head check is done. Extra close attention to behind the ears and the nape of the neck. Okay, so far so good. We do not have lice yet. Okay, so once I'm done with my visual and I haven't seen any evidence, I'm going to knit comb through the hair. If it's a girl with a lot of hair, I'm going to take her hair in a ponytail. Again, making sure there's no knots. And I'm going to start in the front of her head. And I'm going to scrape my knit comb along her scalp and pull all the way out and check my knit comb. I'm going to overlap my strokes, and I'm not necessarily going to stop and check. Sorry about that. I felt your scar. It didn't hurt. I'm not going to check my comb every swipe unless I see something. But once I get halfway through to the base of her neck, I will check by wiping it on a paper towel that has a little bit of water on it. I'm going to wipe off and see if I have any evidence. At this point I don't, so I'm going to keep going. And again, overlapping my comb, scraping the scalp as I go, and coming all the way out of the hair. Thank you. Okay, I've done the whole circumference of the head. Wipe my comb. I haven't seen anything yet that's alarming. So I'm going to part the hair again in 1-inch sections. Would you look down for me? And still scraping the scalp as I go. And I'm going to go down, I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right, and I'm going to go up. And I'm going to look at my comb. If I see nothing, I'm going to continue on. 1-inch sections. Down. Okay, so far so good. Scraping the scalp. Making sure you're hitting all the sections several times in several different directions. Now, if this was a boy's hair, I would just be thorough and go all the way around the head several times, making sure I went several different ways. Top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, right to left. And again, the hot spots for knits are behind the ears, the nape of the neck, and the crown of the head. Check my comb. I can wipe it every once in a while, but if I'm not seeing anything, I'm just going to proceed with my head check. Okay. So I'm on the crown of her head now. I'm just going to make sure I'm combing everything. I'm going to go this way a little bit. So I'm getting the hair in all different directions. Let's go the other way.
or the knits rather. So you're going to take the fine comb, and I'm holding this section of her hair, and I'm just going to fan through slowly, section by section here, and look to see if there's any of those little white eggs. If you go slow enough, you can really get a good view of the different strands of hair, and her head looks very clean. Sometimes you see little bits of dandruff or flakes, and if they flick off, then it's not a knit. So you just keep going. And being very careful here to look all along the side of her ear. And I'm just letting the hairs kind of fall away. And she looks great. So, Olivia, now you can put your head up, honey. As you get a little higher up on the part, you can just continue this process. Keep going up and letting the hair fall away. Until this whole section is done. When this section's finished, what you want to do is put it in a ponytail because you know it's all checked and all clean. And then you want to move on to the front part. Okay, so put your head down, honey. And as you can see, I have a really good view here around her ears. And I can just let the hair fall away. And her hair looks beautiful. When you get to the front more, sit up, hon. Look this way. You can sort of do the same thing up at the forehead. And you just slowly sift through until you've gone through it all. Okay, and when this side's done, you put it up and you check the same way on the other side.
Okay, sweetie. We're going to go ahead and do a scalp inspection, okay? Has your head been itching any?
No.
Okay. Alright, I'm just going to comb your hair out some. Looks like you do have some dandruff. Does that bother you at all? Okay. I'm going to part your hair so we have a nice even part to start with. Put your head back some.
which one kind of works better. This one. Now that the weather's changing, you're probably going to notice that your scalp is drier and that dandruff be a little worse during the winter months. But you can use like a tea tree shampoo and conditioner, and it'll help with that. Yeah, you've gotten a lot more dandruff since the last time I checked your scalp. So I would recommend that you go ahead and start using a special shampoo and conditioner, and I can help you with getting that. Do you scratch your head a lot? You don't know? Okay. And sometimes if we don't rinse the shampoo out of our hair well enough, it can cause like a buildup, and then it can be flaky on your scalp. Just trying to clear a little bit of that off of there. Always seems to be airplanes flying over when we do this. Right. Sit up for a moment, relax. also get you like a scalp exfoliator, and we can use that on your scalp, and that way it'll just kind of clear some of that up, and then kind of brush any of that skin out so it won't be noticeable. Okay, let's see, a little brush here. I'm going to try to brush some of that away. So I'm just going to continue to parting your hair and just looking closely, making sure there's no types of like infestations of lice or anything. Making sure there's no spots of like bleeding or any kind of lesions or any irritations. We also check for moles because people can get moles on their scalp, and some of those can be cancerous. So it's always important to check for that as well, because it's hard for like people don't really notice on their own scalps. It's hard to see if there's anything, so having somebody else check your scalp for any moles is always a good idea. So not many people wear sunscreen on their head. I know it can make the hair greasy, but people with very thin hair or young children and toddlers, if they're going to be in the sun for an extended amount of time, they should be wearing hats or sunscreen. Alright, if you sit back a little bit, it looks like you have a little spot you may have been scratching. Looks like there's a little scab there. Let's see. So I know it's hard sometimes, but if you could try not to scratch your scalp so much, because when you do, you end up with these little spots where there's bleeding and you have that little scab, and then when you wash your hair, the shampoo can irritate it more, kind of make it burn. So just brushing some of that out. And if you could slightly turn your body this way, you can kind of turn a little so it's more comfortable. There you go. Okay, and then sit up. Just going to use a little spray that'll just kind of help keep those in place. There we go. Alright, turn a little more. You got a little glitter. There. seems like it's not as bad the further down, so it's mainly right up here at the top. Okay, and you can turn your body a little more if it's a little more comfortable. Okay. Looks like a little freckle. No. Okay, and then if you'll turn, put your head back up for me, please. Alright. On that back part. I just want to take a good look behind your ear. Just sit up. There you go. Turn it. Okay, you can sit up and relax for a minute. Just brush this, comb this out some. Straight. Do you use like glitter makeup a lot, or do you crafts with glitter? I've just noticed several pieces of glitter in your hair. Alright, try to brush some of this away. section around this area as well. Just a couple little scab spots. Okay. And back. Just relax. You don't have to sit all the way up like that. There you go. Now that we're back up at the top, there's definitely more of that dry scalp. Okay, alright, and back. Your head back for this part so the hair doesn't fall back in place. And then we're almost finished here, okay? Turn your body a little bit this way so you don't have to. Okay. Just keep it straight. You don't have to lean all the way back. There we go. lean this way for just a moment, okay? Stick just like that. Go ahead and spray this. Sounds like you're a little hungry. Yeah? Okay, we're just about finished here. Try that a little bit. Sit up some. Okay, I'll sit up normal. Okay, so besides the dry scalp, everything looks good. Like I said, you can start using like a tea tree shampoo, and that should take care of all of it, especially since it's just up here at the top and doesn't appear to be in other areas. is there anything else you needed today? All right, well, we'll see you next time, okay?